Kendrick. We're cooking for love today.
I'm Kathleen Hall. I am CEO of the Mindful Living Network. And one of my dear friends is here. And we are going to do something exciting today.
We are. I'm really excited about this particular recipe. It is cream of broccoli. And it's unlike any I've had. It's my favorite I think I've ever eaten. I can't believe it. But, you know, in the past we grew up with that awful broccoli and cheese. It's thick and it's, you know, got flour in it and all that.
Yeah, most people thought that it was all cheese when you put your spoon in it and stood up.
Yeah.
And you know, but they didn't really know it was caked flour in there with some little Velveeta. Nothing against Velveeta.
Nothing against it. Yes,
I was raised on it and look what
I know, super fine product she is.
Yes, darling. Processed through and through.
Right. So what we've got today is I have already started, and we'll have the recipes on the website, but just wanted you to get a visual. So what I've got so far is olive oil, and I've got salt and pepper in here, and ready to get that going on the heat. What I've got is I'm going to saute a lot of vegetables to give this flavor and use spices, and that's what's going to give it the flavor that the old-timey soups used to have. And this is so much better for you. So I'm going to saute some garlic, which is going to give it a nice punch. And
I just have to make sure it's fresh.
I think you should. I think that's important.
We want you to know this is not cardboard.
We do, indeed.
It's real food.
It is. We've got
eaten by a processed person. But see, when I think of processed, I think of my friends in prison, like processing, or, you know, my kids in jail, whatever. But let's go back to the recipe.
Yeah, we'll go back to the recipe.
Right back to processed or unprocessed.
So I'm going to saute onion, and then after this, breaks through and releases all its fragrance. It's open.
Oh,
then
smells
I know it does smell good, doesn't it? And because it's been on here now a few minutes, we're going to do carrots and celery, and we're going to let that go. And we're going to saute that a good while before we add the broccoli. Now the important thing is I've put together some spices that are really nice. Oregano is the main thing that I found that really works with this particular soup. But to kick it up a notch, and you don't have to, I added some powdered ginger and I added some cumin. And it just gives just a little bit. And I just kind of like give it a few shakes, you know, so it doesn't have to be perfect.
This is another thing that I adore about my dear friend. She's not afraid to add anything into anything. So when you eat at her home, you can eat the same thing,
exactly,
so to speak, night after night, and it will taste
different.
completely different.
And that's what's great about cooking. You know, don't be afraid to try things.
Exactly.
You know? Try new things. And a lot of times what you can do is you can Google if you want to make broccoli soup, say, well, what spices are good with that? And then what spices go together. And so you can really kind of educate yourself.
Let me throw in right now, before she adds the broccoli, if you have any type of anti-inflammatory disease, if you have cancer, a heart disease, or a propensity, during flu season, which we're going through right now, broccoli, we have a tough study, Johns Hopkins study, that shows that people that ate a cup of broccoli a day for over as short as a 6-week to 2-month period actually reduced their tumor size by 60%. And the chance of developing a tumor was between 60 and 70% less.
Yes.
So the effects of, I cannot ever over exaggerate or estimate the power of broccoli. So
and this is frozen.
And it is frozen,
which
fresh,
is cheaper.
Exactly. And when you get this kind of soup, I might double or triple it, freeze it into individual portions, so that during the season, or if you start to get sick, go ahead and pile up with the broccoli.
Exactly. So after this gets to saute for just a little bit, and we've gotten it all soft and they've released their flavors, then we add about 5 cups of liquid. Now, you could just add 5 cups of water, but why just do that when you can do some wonderful vegetable or chicken broth, depending on if you're vegetarian or not. And it just, you know, you can buy the cartons, and it just makes such a difference when you're cooking to give it that extra flavor. So I let this cook, and I've got, you know, I said salt and pepper. Now, I want to show you the finished product. Put this in a blender, and you have this amazing soup in a blender. And also, I made some cashew cream, and all you do is take about a cup of cashews, and you cover them with boiling water, let them sit about 30 minutes or so. Then drain that, put them in the blender, and then add about a cup of water, and you've got amazing cream that is vegan. So here is our soup with a little bit of cream on top. Take a look at how
So
beautiful
you actually
that
put the
is.
cashew cream in the soup
I put it on top.
on top.
And actually, I'll show you, and all you do is pour it, which is so much fun. You just pour your soup, and there you are. And I just take a little of this cashew cream. It's so good. And I just put a little bit on top, and it's really pretty because it gives you some protein, and it's just beautiful to add. And you just let it go like
Gorgeous.
that.
Absolutely
This is
beautiful.
it. I'm so
Absolutely
excited about it.
beautiful. I'm excited.
And I make the cream, and I drain the cream out, and then I go ahead and put the soup on top of it, so it gets the residual cream mixed in it, so it's got a little, and then you add the cream when you're
And
eating
anybody like my husband who has ever poo-pooed
it.
vegan,
So good.
and the word, a lot of us get this red alert sign when or like a deer in headlights, like, vegan, vegan,
So
vegan, I'm
good.
not getting near it.
Yeah.
And like I said, my husband's
Yeah.
the worst.
I know.
I would make this, never tell him that, and he would never know.
He would never know.
He would never know.
Also,
This is delicious.
I put just a couple of drops of apple cider vinegar in it too, to give it a little bit of freshness and to keep everything nice and green. So you might do that.
And
as
for
well.
somebody like myself, I might add a little Tabasco or
Yeah,
a
you
little
could.
oomph.
A little red pepper.
Ooh, yum,
Absolutely.
yum, yum.
So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you'll try it. It's an awesome recipe. Tastes great.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathleen Hall. See you here next time. Yum.
Bye.